Hey guys, so today we're going to do a yang yoga, active yoga class. Again, we'll wait just a couple of minutes, so if you're watching this later and you want to fast forward a little bit, that's fine. Probably won't cover anything too important in the first few minutes, but I'm just going to wait for some people to join us. Usually takes people a couple of minutes to join in. I'm just going to invite people, so you'll see me kind of clicking around on the keyboard here, but we'll get started in just a moment. All right, so please be patient with me. If there are any questions that come up while we're filming or while we're going, let me know in the comments. I will mention though that once I'm standing back there and doing the class, I probably won't be able to see the questions, but doesn't mean you shouldn't leave them. So you can leave a question and then I can maybe get to it later if I see a question in there. All right. Again, we're just waiting a couple more minutes, see if anyone else wants to join us this evening. And we'll be doing an active yang yoga sequence. Good to see you, Marissa, Nancy, welcome. Since I can't hear you, if you like practicing with music, feel free to go ahead and put on your favorite music in the background to practice with if you like, okay? And before we get started, I just want to make sure that everyone can hear me okay and see me okay. So if you're out there, if you would just, send me a note and say, yes, I can hear you, or something along those lines. I'm pretty sure you can see me, but hopefully I'm using a new mic today. So hopefully the sound is actually improved over previous weeks. I'm trying to improve things little bit by little bit. I never dreamed that I'd be teaching yoga out of my bedroom, so I never really thought much about decorating this space for that, with that in mind, or getting any kind of filming equipment for this kind of a thing. Hey August, welcome. So yes, let me know if you can hear me and see me. I think there is a delay, so it may take a couple of minutes before your comment shows up. Thumbs up, hopefully that means that you can hear me. All right, we'll get started in just a minute here in case anyone else wants to join us. Again, if there are any questions or comments that come up while we're practicing, just let me know. Yes, Marissa, it's great to see you. I'm glad you could make it. I think it's your first time doing the yang yoga, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I didn't see you in the past, or maybe I just forgot. But hopefully this will be a good class for you. A little different than some of the other stuff we do. All right, so I like to give people about 5 minutes, and that's 5 minutes. So let's go ahead and get started with our practice today. All right, so if you'd like to join me, I think we will start with just a little bit of chanting here. All right, so if you'd like to join me, this is called the pranava, which is just chanting Om. And we'll just chant it together 3 times or so. And you don't have to join in if you've got a situation at home that makes it difficult for you to make noise or something like that. It's okay. You can just listen to me chant. Let's take a nice deep breath in. Namaste. All right, so today we'll start on our back. So we call this the pentacle pose. Pentacle is a 5-pointed star. So I'm just going to invite you to relax back on your back. And this is an active practice, so don't worry, we'll get into more active postures later, more active sequences later. But let's just start relaxing on our back, closing our eyes. Last night, if you live in the local area, it was pretty exciting. There were a lot of tornadoes, and so there are warnings going off. You might have been woken up throughout the night. Just adding to the drama and excitement of the whole pandemic. So let's just take a moment just to relax on our back. Noticing the breath, feeling the body. What sorts of thoughts are going through the mind? What is your overall mood? What is your energy level? And I'll encourage you not to judge what you find. So if maybe you're tired and you're in a bad mood, that's okay. This is one reason why we practice, because these things may change. All right, let's begin by bringing our right leg in. We'll interlace fingers over that leg, and we'll just begin to move the leg around gently. I want you to really feel the front of that right hip and the outside of the leg as you move it around a little bit. Just sort of feeling your way into the hip, the muscles in the leg, and then the low back. And using the gentle movement as a way of helping to release tension, what's sometimes called stagnant chi. Chi is just another word for life force energy, life energy. And when it gets stuck, it creates imbalances. So you can usually feel that as tension in your body, or tightness, stiffness, soreness, pain. Just gently moving, and then maybe you find a really sweet spot. You might stay there for a breath or two. Sometimes taking a nice deep breath in and deep breath out, you can feel some of that tension release. Okay, then let's release that leg back onto the mat. We'll bring the other leg in. Again, if you're looking for more active practice, we'll do that. We'll get there. Okay, we'll work our way up to it. But right now, we want to just start with some gentle hip stretches, hip opening, some deep breathing, and just creating space for our awareness to take in what we're feeling in our body. Again, you might find a sweet spot where you feel there's quite a bit of tension, or could be dullness sometimes we experience. And so you just take a few breaths into that area. See if you can feel the breath helping the muscles to release their tension and relax. And then releasing that leg back down. We'll bring in both legs now. Just give them a good squeeze. You can cross one ankle over the other, rocking side to side a few times, making circles with the knees. Good. And then let's go ahead and hinge down. So this is a core activation. We extend our legs up. If there's any pain in your back, you're going to bend your knees until that pain goes away. Otherwise, the legs are straight. Let's lift our head and neck. We'll take a nice deep breath, and as we exhale, lower the legs toward the ground. And then just before they touch, just pause, take a deep breath in, and with the next exhale, we relax again back onto our back, returning to pentacle pose. Now notice if the mind is jumping ahead. Notice if there's any sense of tension anywhere in the mind, the heart, or the body. I want you to notice that. And in noticing it, see if that tension shift or release, even just slightly. All right. Let's bring our right leg in now. We'll grab hold of the foot. This is the stirrup. We call this stirrup. Notice that my foot is basically facing toward the ceiling, the sole of my foot. My knee is alongside my ribs. My arm is inside of the knee, so I'm not doing this. I'm not trapping my knee. My knee is free to move down. I could bring that knee very close to the ground, maybe even touch the ground. And as I do that, I feel a deep stretch here on the inside on the back of my thigh. So those are the adductors and the extensors of that hip. So it's a nice stretch. It's deeper than the one that we did earlier. It's a little different. Okay, and I can feel into that area. And then I begin to straighten the leg. Doesn't have to go all the way straight. You could use a strap here. And now I'm stretching here the back of the thigh, right? Moving it around a little bit. And then I can bring it out to the side as well, stretching those adductors, the inside of the thigh, again in a different way. Again, I'm paying special attention to anywhere that I find tension, pain, stiffness, soreness, or dullness. Okay, let's go ahead and switch out that leg for the other. We're bringing in the left leg. Again, this is the stirrup, and we start with our knee bent. So I'm aggressively pulling down. It's sort of like a half happy baby. Now you might notice I lift the other leg up. That's fine. I can bring it out to the side. I can move it around. It will play around with the position of the pelvis, changing the stretch here in my left leg. And that's really what I'm focusing on, is what is this doing to my left leg and maybe the low back on that side. Then I can begin to straighten that leg out. Again, pulling overhead. Just finding those areas where there might be some stiffness or tightness or soreness. Okay, then dropping that leg out to the left, stretching that inside of the thigh. Taking a few breaths there, and then coming back to center, and this time bringing both legs in. So this is very much like happy baby. Pulling down on the knees. You might feel your back, so notice how my back is curling up off the ground there. Okay, so that is actually feels really good. It's not something that I need to avoid. It's sort of stretching my low back, and then just by rocking slightly I can change the emphasis of the stretch. Again, I'm always paying attention to what I'm feeling, and I'm using the movement to create a sense of balance and release in my body. Then straightening the legs one at a time or both together is a nice thing to do. We can get a deeper stretch into the inside of the thighs. We can stretch the back more aggressively, pulling on the legs like this. Okay, but experiment with your body and the different positions that are possible to find the greatest release for you. All right, again, let's hinge. So we'll slide our hands under the hips, legs extend up, head and neck lift, deep breath, and as we exhale, we lower the legs toward the ground. And then just before they touch, we pause, inhale, and then exhale back onto our back. Just relax, breathe, and feel. All right, very good. Let's do one more stretch for our hips before we continue. We'll bring the left leg, bring it up, and drop it over to the right. Okay, prop your head up on your right hand. Take the right leg and move it back away from the left leg. Bend the knee, reach back and grab the foot, pull the heel in towards your buttocks. Now we're stretching the front of the thigh. Okay, getting a nice stretch there. into the what are called the quads. It's a little harder to move here. We're not as free. More of our body is on the ground, but you can move this foot around. You can also kick it back. Let your shoulder come back, deepening the twist a bit. This leg, the left leg, could be straight or bent, so feel free to experiment with different positions for that leg. And again, there's no one particular way to breathe here, but just experiment with deep breaths when you find something really effective, when you feel the stretch. It's a good time to just really breathe in deep, breathe out deeply. All right, good. Let's release that leg. We'll come back onto our back and we'll take it over to the other side. Okay, so on this side, we want to extend our right leg up, drop it over to the left. Prop our head up on the left hand and elbow. Take that leg back, bend the knee, reach back, grab the foot. And again, playing around with the foot position, maybe kicking back, pulling in. How does that change the stretch that you feel in the front of the left thigh? Good, let's go ahead and release that leg. Coming back onto our back for a moment. Just relax for a breath or two. Good. Drawing both legs in now. Let's give them a squeeze. And one more time, let's activate that core with the hinge. So we extend the legs up, lift the head and neck, take a nice deep breath. As we exhale, we lower the legs toward the ground, hover for a moment. Inhale, pop the legs up, and exhale as we bring ourselves up to a seat. Okay. From here, let's go ahead and transition into doing a little bit of upper body stimulation with some finger fans, okay? So the finger fans use each individual finger, and it stimulates what are called meridians, which are just energetic channels that run through the body. Now, I'm not that interested in debating whether or not there really are channels or not. It's just a way of thinking about things that helps us to stimulate our body to become healthy. I can't say that we can prove scientifically that there are meridians. Maybe one day we will. Maybe someone already has. But what we can prove is that these practices are good for our health. There's thousands of years of evidence of that, and when we do study these things scientifically, that's usually what we find, is that these things keep you happy and healthy. So again, theory is useful if it helps us to stay happy and healthy. If we get too worried about the theory and whether it's correct or not, we can actually interfere with doing what's best for us. Okay? So we're just going to use that theory. We're not going to worry too much about whether or not it's 100% accurate. So we extend our arms out in front of us, opening the palms wide, okay? And then as we inhale, begin to curl in each finger individually, and we begin to tense the muscles in the arms, the shoulders, and the upper body, and we get really small. Okay, then as we exhale, we extend out, we relax, and we push out like so, okay? Then with the palms turned up, we do the same thing again. Inhale, and we're curling in the fingers. And again, we are getting small and tensing. And then as we exhale, we push out. Good. So it's just that pattern. It's very simple. And we really want to pay attention to, again, tension and release. Expansion, right? And then contraction. It's just yin and yang. That's what life physical life is made up of, right? Male and female, night and day, sun and moon, up and down, left and right, yin and yang. So it's the interplay of those two. It's not one over the other. It really is the interplay and the balance of those two that leads to health and sustainability. So feel that as you move. You're tensing and then you're relaxing. You might feel a flush of heat every time you relax, and then as you tension, as you begin to contract, you might feel that tension building, and then again as you release, you feel sort of a wave of energy or heat, right? And whatever you feel is fine. If that's not your experience, that's fine. Pay attention to your experience. I'm just telling you what I'm feeling here. Try and feel the energy both within your body and surrounding your body. Good. Now the next time the arms are out to the sides, just turn the palms up, and we're just going to gather up all the energy, all the chi. And then with our palms turned down, we'll descend that chi down through the crown of the head and all the way down to the lower dantian, the lower abdomen, where we store that energy. Okay, and then you can relax your hands on your knees or thighs. Close your eyes for a moment. So just like we did at the beginning, this is not a bad time to check in and see how you're breathing, how you're feeling physically, emotionally, energetically, mentally. And again, let's leave the judgment aside. Let's not worry about how we think we're supposed to feel. Let's really just focus on what we are feeling, how we are feeling. All right, we're going to work our way up to standing, and that's where we do a lot of our more vigorous work in this class. So we're coming into a tabletop position, and let's just begin with the bear pose. Bear is sort of like cat-cow, but there's a lot more variety of movement. So you'll notice I'm moving my hips side to side. I can drop my hips down and back or off to one side. Right? I can move my spine forward and back. And again, I'm just sort of trying to find those areas that feel more resistant, or there's either no sensation, which isn't a good sign, right? It means that that part of the body is kind of lifeless, or there's a lot of sensation, a lot of pain or discomfort. So I'm just sort of trying to root those areas out and bring some blood flow, some chi flow into that area. Good. And then tucking my toes, I'm going to come back into a down dog here. Give my legs a little stretch out. Work the kinks out if I find them, where I find them, if I find them. Again, I can roll over the toes here, circle the ankles a bit, sort of loosen things up. Good. And then from there, let's do a little flow that I like. So from here, we're going to come down into a tabletop as we inhale. Let's exhale back to a child pose. We'll just take a couple of breaths here. Let's have those arms really extended out in front of us. So this might be a shoulder stretch for you. Depends on how much tension there is in your shoulders. But let those shoulders come out, way out in front of you. And again, you might feel a little bit of stretching there. All right, with our next inhale, let's come up to the tabletop position. As we exhale, we'll come back to a downward dog. Then inhaling, let's come to tabletop. and exhale back to the child pose. You may not be able to come all the way back, and that's okay. You just come back as far as you can. Inhaling back to tabletop, and we exhale to the downward dog. Again, stretching those shoulders and the calves. Inhale to tabletop, and exhale to the down dog. Just a few more times. Just again, getting the blood flowing, getting moving a little bit in our body. And let's just do one more. All right, beautiful. From there, let's walk our feet to our hands. And we'll turn to this orientation on the mat. So we're facing the long side of the mat. And hopefully your camera is facing, or your screen is facing in this direction. Okay, so we call this the elephant. It's a lot like ragdoll, but you might be standing a little bit wider than you would in a ragdoll. And you'll notice right away that I'm moving a little bit. Okay, so I don't want to be afraid of moving. I'm going to keep swaying, and again, I'm kind of looking for those areas where I feel tension in my body. And you'll notice as I do this, I begin to bend my knees more deeply. So again, we call this elephant. So you might imagine an elephant walking, and as it walks, it sort of sways from side to side. Okay? And eventually I'm coming down pretty deep. You don't need to do that. Okay, so if you feel that it's a little too far for you, then you don't need to squat so deeply, but you are more than welcome to. Okay, so eventually working your way down lower and lower, coming deeper and deeper into that squat, working into the tension that might be there in the inside of the thighs. Okay. All right, eventually we work our way back up to a more neutral elephant here. Okay, and then we'll begin our standing sequence this week with something called walking the dog. So we begin by turning the palms up. We're going to inhale, gather up the chi, and as we exhale, we come into the open horse position. Okay, so it's a lot like a goddess pose. So again, no need to try and hold still. In Yang Yoga, we're always moving. That helps with working the muscles. It helps the joints. And it just, again, gets the blood flow going. We want to be still, we'll do Yin Yoga. So you can also drop your hands down onto your knees like this and work deeply into the inside of those thighs. So you stretch them out a little bit. Again, just trying to work through any tension there. Okay, now you could have a mat going this way. I don't usually do that, but we are going to be off our mat then a little bit. Okay, so that's really up to you. Hopefully you've got some nice clean space that you're working with there. So we come down into this position, and this is called an elephant dog. So it's kind of like a combination of elephant pose and downward dog. So I have a nice wide stance. Comfortable wide stance. And then I bring my hands out in front of me and I draw myself back like this, like I would in a downward dog. Okay, so I'm opening up the inside of the thighs. I'm also opening up the shoulders a bit. I can drop my forehead towards the ground. Just taking a few breaths there. All right, and then from there I come into just more of a standard downward dog. So I step my feet back and I'm in this position, just a more standard downward dog. I can bend my elbows, bend my knees. All right, and now we come to a rather vigorous exercise, and these are called bears. And the way I do a bear is I just basically flip over one way like this. And it's a shoulder strengthener, right? So I'm putting weight on one shoulder. I want this shoulder to be active. Okay, so I flip over one way, then come back to center, and then I flip over the other way like this. This hand is like my claw, right? It's in the air. And then I exhale, come back. That's one. And we're just going to do two more like that. So flipping over one way. Again, active shoulder, not collapsing in that shoulder. Coming back other way. All right. And let's do one more round. So the first side, flipping over. Keep those hips lifted. Coming back to center. Flip over to the other side. Good. All right. Now we do something called a mongoose. Similar, but a little different. I take the right leg and I kick it out. So now I'm just on one hand and one leg. Okay? One leg and one arm are in the air, the opposite ones. Come back to center, other side, same thing, flipping over. Okay, there's a little bit of balance here, and again, strengthening that upper body. Good, we're going to do two more rounds. So one side, and then the other side. And once you get used to these, you can do them very quickly. So I'm kind of slowing it down here for you, so hopefully you don't hurt yourself or go too quickly. Okay, so that's 3 times. Then we jump wide onto our mat and we pull ourselves back and we come into the elephant. Now I like to turn my palms up. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm pressing my wrists into the ground. So this is the opposite of what we were doing with our wrists a moment ago. So I'm just releasing them. It feels really good through here, through the upper part of the arm. I'm stretching those muscles out. All right, don't do anything too extreme. Don't hurt yourself. All right, so let's go through that sequence again. Maybe we'll go through a little faster. So the palms are up. We inhale, we gather up the chi or energy. Exhale, we come into the open horse position. Okay. From here, we'll take a nice deep breath and we exhale into our elephant dog. So our arms come out in front of us, our legs are wide, and we draw ourselves back. From there, we can step into a more traditional downward dog position. Okay, again, we can bend our elbows a little bit, shrug our shoulders, bend our knees. Okay, and then we do a few rounds of the first the bear pose. So flipping over one way, coming back to center, flipping the other way. That's one. We're going to do two more. First side, second side, that's 2. And 3. Good. Now we come back to center, mongoose. I kick out and flip. 1 and 2. Good. Second round. And third round. Good. Then stepping wide, draw myself back, and I just dangle. And again, I can press the back of my wrists into the ground, releasing them. I can make fists. Whatever feels good for those wrists and the forearms. A lot of the tension we have here is just from all the work we do on our devices and computers. So this is really nice to do to release those parts of the body. All right, let's go through the whole sequence one more time. So palms up, we inhale, gather up the chi, the energy, and we exhale into our open horse position. Taking a nice deep breath, and we exhale into our elephant dog, drawing ourselves back, opening the shoulders, chest, and the inside of the thighs. Good. From there, we're going to step back, come into the down dog. Just taking a couple breaths here. And then let's do a few rounds of the bear. So one direction, flipping, and then the other direction. Good. 2. And last one, 3. Again, it helps to keep the shoulder mobile and strong. Now let's add in a little bit more balance. Kicking off one side. This is the mongoose. Other side, same thing. Good. Another round. 2. And last one. Good. Okay. We step wide back onto our mat. Coming back, elephant. Just relax. Again, you'll notice I'm always moving a little bit in this class. This is not about striking a pose and staying there. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just not the way this class is. Okay? So again, it's not about criticizing what other people are doing or other styles of yoga. It's about exploring how many different ways can we benefit by moving our body. Okay? All right. So from here, we're going to move into another standing sequence. And this one is called walking the elephants. And it focuses more on the spine. That first one, walking the dog, was more about the arms. So as we inhale, let's go ahead and come on up to standing. And then again, we exhale into our open horse position. Okay? So again, we can move around a little bit. And then from here, as we inhale, we come up, straighten the legs. And then we're going to pivot our toes to face forward. So this is my left foot in front. And then taking a nice deep breath, we come over with the exhale into a sort of just gentle triangle pose, stretching here into the side and then the inside of that left leg. Inhaling and come back up, so we're not going to hold it. Again, we're just going to keep flowing and moving. We come over to the other side. Good, get a nice stretch. Inhaling back to center. We pivot back to the first side, but this time we turn all the way around. Landing here in a twist. Good, inhaling, coming all the way back up. We again pivot and turn all the way around. Landing in a twist. Inhaling back up. And then landing right in the middle. Okay, opening up into the twist, facing the left side. And then exhaling that hand down. Inhaling the other hand up, twisting, pressing through. Then exhale that hand down. And then turn the palms up, inhale. Gather up the chi. And exhale to the open horse. Okay, so hold open horse for a moment. I'm just going to adjust my mat. For whatever reason, it tends to scoot backwards as I practice, and so every now and then I need to pull it back up. Okay, so we're here in our open horse, and then from here we'll inhale back up, straighten those legs, pivot the toes, right? So moving over to the left into the triangle here. Just a gentle stretch. We inhale back up, flowing to the other side. Don't worry about alignment. Just don't do anything that hurts and you'll be fine. Inhale back up. Okay. Again, there's a place for alignment. We do that in other classes. This class is just not so much about that. Okay, you might not be able to bring your hand all the way down. That's fine. You could put your hand on your shin or on a block or just have it floating in the air. Again, don't push too far. Okay, it shouldn't hurt. Good, coming back up. We land right in the middle, twisting over to one side. So exhale that hand down, inhale the other side, same thing. Exhale that hand down, palms turn up, inhale, we gather up the chi. And let's go through it one more time. So exhale, open horse. Now, again, I haven't mentioned yet in this class, but the wider you go and the deeper you sit, the harder you're working here, the deeper you're stretching. So you can really decide how hard you want to work. All right, inhale, coming back up. Again, let's pivot those toes to the left. We exhale over into just a gentle stretch in our triangle. How far you need to go depends on you. We inhale back up, pivoting over to the other side. Same thing here. I go far enough that I can feel it, but not so far that it hurts. Inhaling back up, we twist a little further. You might have to shorten your stance a little bit for that. That's fine, you do what's necessary. Inhaling back up, again, we aren't really holding, flowing, moving, landing in the other direction. Good, inhaling back up, and we're gonna land right in the middle. Good, exhale that hand down, inhale the other arm up, exhale that hand down, turn the palms up, inhale, gathering up the chi, the energy, the subtle energy. And then this time, palms turn down. Let's descend the energy through the crown of the head, okay, all the way down to the lower dantian, the lower cauldron. And that's where we store that energy that we cultivated for either healing or maybe worldly accomplishment, or perhaps for meditation and spiritual accomplishment. Okay, we can step our legs a little closer. Let's just relax for a moment and feel the rebound. So again, a few things you might try and pay attention to is body temperature. Has your body temperature shifted at all? Hopefully you maybe feel a little bit of heat. Other things like, again, your overall energy level. You might feel like, even though we've done some exercise, you actually feel like you have more energy now. Your mind, your emotions, your overall mood has this shift. All right, good. Let's do another standing sequence. This one is called Warrior Advance and Retreat, and this one is more for our legs. So we're going to start over here. This is my left side of the mat. Really, either side is fine as long as you can follow along with me and you do everything on both sides. Okay? So we're standing over on this side of the mat, and we begin with a balanced posture. This is called the crane. So I'm going to lift. For me, it's going to be my right leg up and my arms up. Okay, so you might want to lift the leg that's closest to your computer, closest to the screen here. Arms are just balancing on one leg. Again, that might be easy or difficult. If it's difficult for you, you should do it more often. So a very common misconception is to avoid doing things that are difficult for us. Well, balance is important for our health. So balance is difficult. We get better by practicing more, by doing it more often. All right, as we exhale, we're going to step back and we'll pivot and turn, and this is called a warrior advance position. Okay, a few things to note about this position is my legs are nice and wide. Again, the wider I go and the deeper I lunge, the harder I'm working. Okay, so I can really kind of tailor how hard I want to work. You also notice that my right leg is forward and my left arm is forward. My left leg is behind me. My right arm is behind me. Okay, so it's reversed, legs and arms. Then I come back to center. You should be facing the camera at this point. And I just gather the chi or energy at my heart. Okay, so I'm just sort of pulling it all in. And then as I exhale, I again push out and expand. So again, there's that yin-yang tension. Inhale, coming back to center, gathering the chi, and exhale, pushing out, expanding. Good, let's do that a few more times. Inhale, gather the chi at the heart, and exhale, push off. Good, let's do one more time. Inhale, gather, and exhale, push. Now we change it a little bit. I reach down and try and touch the earth. Then I sweep back into what's called a low retreat position. This is similar to the yoga pose called Skandasana, except my arms are just a little bit different. Okay, exactly the position that your foot and toes go in. That's really up to you. This foot is facing backward though, so the feet are sort of facing in opposite directions. Then I again place my hands on the ground. I sweep forward and up into what's called a high retreat position. Now, unlike yoga, the breathing isn't as locked. So I may make some breath suggestions, but you can tailor those to what you're feeling. They don't have to be exactly the way that I breathe. Now, as I step forward, I'm going to inhale. And I, again, return to the crane position, right? Balancing on one leg here. Then as I exhale, I go ahead and release my arms and my leg. And again, if I'm paying attention, I might find that my breath has changed a little bit, a little more labored here, okay? And other things, my temperature, I might feel pressure in different parts of my body. So let's do the other side. So we inhale, we lift that left leg up, lift the arms up. And then as I exhale, I step back, pivot, and turn into the warrior advance position. Inhaling, gathering chi at the heart. I exhale and push off in the other direction. Okay, let's do that a few more times. Inhale and exhale. Couple more. Just deep breathing here. And push. Good. One more time on this side. Inhale and exhale. Good. Let's reach down. We touch the earth and then coming back to the low retreat position. Now, you don't have to come this low. If it hurts your knees or hurts other parts of your body, again, you're going to modify that so you don't come so low. Then touching the earth, I'm sweeping forward and up, high retreat. Okay. From there, I inhale, step forward, balancing in crane. And then as I exhale, I release the arms and the leg, and I'm back to the start. I'm back at the beginning. Okay. So let's go through it a few more times if we can, maybe a little bit quicker. So inhaling the right leg up, arms up, exhale, pivot, turn, warrior. Good. Inhale to center and exhale, push. Deep breathing. Couple more. And one more time. Good. Reaching down, touch the earth. Inhale, coming back, low retreat. Exhale, forward and up, high retreat. Then inhale, stepping forward, lifting the leg. And exhale, relaxing the legs and the arms. Let's go right into the other side. So inhale, left leg lifts up. Exhale, warrior. Good, last one. Now reach down, touch the earth. Low retreat. High retreat. Inhale, step forward, crane. And then exhale, go ahead and release the arms and the leg. Good, let's go through it one more time. Okay, inhale, right leg. And exhale, warrior. Good. Inhale. And push. Maybe you're going deeper as you warm up, right? A few more times. So don't be afraid to find an edge to really work the pose, to break a sweat, okay? Again, you just go wider and deeper if you want more. So if it's easy, you go a little further. Reaching down, inhale, low retreat. Good. Exhale, high retreat. Inhale, step forward, crane. And exhale, release. Other side. Inhale, left leg, crane. Exhale, warrior. Good. First side again. Gather and push. Last one. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Reach down, touch the earth, low retreat. Inhale, high retreat. Okay. Inhale, stepping forward, and exhale, release. Good. Let's close the eyes. Let's feel that rebound. The heart, the breath, energy, emotion, thought. And it's not about right or wrong. Just notice how the exercises affect these things, okay? Okay, let's finish a little bit of 4-part Taoist breathing. A little simpler, less vigorous exercise to integrate the chi flow, okay? Integrate the energy that we cultivated with these practices. So we begin with our palms turned up, and as we inhale, we gather up the chi. Then as we exhale, we push out, expanding the chi. And you can bend your knees a bit if you want, I'm not going to. Then we reach down, we touch the earth with the back of the hands, and as we inhale, we pull the chi from the earth. So pulling up. And then with the palms turned down, we descend the chi. Okay, we're coaxing it down through the crown of the head, down to the lower dantian, lower cauldron, lower abdomen. Okay, palms up. Inhale, gather up the chi from heaven. So again, it's all about the tension of opposites, the interplay of opposites. Exhale, expand and push. Then reaching down, touching the earth, pulling from the earth, the yin chi. And then palms turned down, chi descends, the mixture of heaven and earth. Okay, the lion and the lamb, the opposites, mixing. That's what we're here to do according to the Taoist. It's the human's purpose. It's not the purpose of a deer or an ox or a cat or a dog. Humans are different. If you haven't noticed, we're funny in the animal kingdom. We seem pretty confused, don't we? That's because most of us don't really know our purpose. According to the Taoists, it is to integrate heaven and earth, the masculine, the feminine, the sun and the moon. And so this breathing and movement is a very nice way of embodying that. Okay, the next time we descend that chi, let's just relax our arms, close our eyes, feel the rebound. All right, everyone. So I want to thank you for joining me. As many of you know, I'm kind of out of work at the moment. So if you enjoyed this, you want to help contribute, help me keep doing these things for free, you can check out those links that I put up there. Venmo, PayPal, Patreon, those are ways that you can help support my teaching. But it's not required. I'd much rather you come to the class and do it for free, rather than not show up at all if you're worried about paying anything. Let's finish with just a tiny bit of chanting. Okay, so if you'd like to join me, the words are Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Hopefully you can still hear the harmonium even with the microphone there. Samhasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samhasta Sukhino Bhavantu Namaste. Thank you all for sharing your practice with me this evening. Again, let me know how the lights, got some new lights, got a new microphone. Hopefully things are getting a little bit more professional. But let me know. You can contact me on Facebook. You can contact me on my website, mahapathayoga.com, Patreon. All right. Thanks, August. So it's great to see you all. I'll be back, I think, tomorrow with a little bit of pranayama. A little shorter practice, probably about 10 to 20 minutes of instruction in pranayams. All right. You can get this on Patreon. I'll be posting it hopefully later today, later tonight, and it will be free. So you can check it out if you missed most of the practice. Okay. All right. Thank you all. Have a lovely evening. Namaste. See you next week.